And again, if you are a returning viewer, I do greatly appreciate that. I appreciate you all being here. Anytime that you guys show up to hear me flap my gums just about movies and things like that. And so, yeah, wow. Today I want to go ahead and talk about this whole Francis Ford Coppola and Martin Scorsese thing. You know, these guys are out there talking a lot of trash about some Marvel movies and all this kinds of stuff, and all kinds of people are talking about it, and people are upset. But apparently something else happened last night. I'm not too for sure if you guys have been paying attention, but last night actually they ran this trailer. Some trailer came out, and a whole bunch of people did reactions. Whole bunch of people did reaction videos to it. Yeah, they sure did. And what'd you guys think? What's the verdict? What's everyone think about the Star Wars trailer? Is everybody happy? Are they happy? Are they mad? Are they upset? What's going on? Let me know. Let me know down in the comments below. How do you feel about it? I'll be honest with you. I watched the trailer. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a pretty decent trailer. Nothing to complain about. But I haven't gone on YouTube or anywhere and found what the consensus is yet. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are people that hate hate on Star Wars? Do they love Star Wars again now? Are they back? Did this trailer reel them in? Did it get them? They got you. They got you. Or is it maybe you're just your back's against the wall now and you can't change your mind, and all of a sudden decide like, what, this movie actually looks pretty good. I might be a little bit excited about this. Are you like, you're back against the wall? You got to be like, oh man, like I gotta hate this movie now. Shit, what am I gonna do? Oh man. Let me know down in the comments below. So you're back against the wall? You got to hate on it anyway, or was it a good trailer? Did you like it? I don't know. I thought it was okay. I thought it was, but again, I've found lately for me, like trailers haven't really, I don't know. It seems like trailers, unless I really want to speculate on them or anything and build theories, like going into Avengers Endgame, like trailers don't really do much for me in movies anymore. As a matter of fact, sometimes trailers turn me off of a movie. I certainly think that that's happened a lot with the Terminator Dark Salvation, or Salvation Dark, I don't know, whatever it is that's getting ready to come out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that new Terminator movie. How's everybody feel about that? Like those trailers have looked pretty unfulfilling. They haven't looked that great, but I'll probably end up going to see the movie at the theater anyway if I get the time or anything. Of course, there's still some other Terminators I haven't seen, but apparently that doesn't really matter. That doesn't really matter. But like a lot of times, even some of these good movies, like the trailers, just kind of turn me off from them. Like Alita Battle Angel, that one lost me. I didn't even go see it at the theater because the trailers. Like I saw the first trailer, I was like, "Ooh, this looks pretty good," and as time went on, I'm just like, this movie doesn't look that great. And I didn't go see it at the theater, and now I regret it because I knew I should have. So yeah, I don't know. I got a chance to see the trailer. I thought it looked pretty good. I mean, it looked like you could tell like there's a little bit more direction here. There was something there to kind of reel you in to get you want to go see this movie at the theater. I mean, I was gonna go see it anyway, but I haven't, like I said, I haven't got to see any of the reaction videos or anything like that because I know I'm sure that my subscription feed here on YouTube is full of them. I haven't checked it since yesterday. I had to take my kids to karate class, and they were there in class for a couple hours. So yeah, I wasn't there for the premiere or anything, but I did get home and I watched the trailer. I didn't, like I said, I got, read a couple comic books and I went to sleep, and didn't check anybody's reactions and, to see what the overall consensus is. Are people hating on it? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know how you feel down there in the comments, okay? Gonna get in here and see what's up with everybody. Russell Wells Benjamin, how you doing this morning, sir? Thank you so much for being here. Anthony Diaz, good morning, my brother. How are you doing? Now, we got to be paying attention for on Anthony down here. He said soon that he's going to be starting a podcast with his buddy, so that'll be pretty cool. Maybe we'll get him here on the show or something sometime to talk about it, which would be pretty cool. And don't let this guy underestimate you. This guy knows how to play guitar, man. I've seen him. I've seen him flicking those strings, man. And he sings too. Yeah, he's a double threat. Like me, I play drums and I can sing. I'm like a Phil Collins. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a Phil Collins. This dude is like I don't know. Who else plays guitars and sings? Like every other guitar player there is, I guess, really. Russell was Benjamin says, no intro today. Where's Spidey? Oh, yeah, you know what? I actually just forgot to hit I forgot to hit the go live button as I was sitting here starting the show, and like I did it, and Yeah. Sorry about sorry about that. I forgot to hit the go live button as I just switched the scene here on OBS. He goes, as excited as I was, which isn't very. Doesn't look good or bad. Just holding my breath, not trying to set my expectations too high. And and seeing that's one big thing too. I think for a lot of people, I think a lot of people do that for just about every movie. For just about every movie, sometimes we set our expectations too high for a film, and you go in, you see it, and you're like, oh, damn it. Like look at the recent Hellboy movie. I still haven't had a chance to see that. I'm sure here pretty soon it's going to be the equivalent of some of these books that end up at the dollar bin at the comic store. Uh, I'm sure that Hellboy will be available for me to watch for free on Vudu or something very soon. Maybe even on Netflix. Hell, it might be on Netflix already for all I know. I don't get on Netflix that much. So it's just one of those same kind of things too. Like when I seen that Hellboy trailer, I was like, I don't know that this movie's going to be all that great in the first place, and it might be worth a watch though, and I'm sure it's worth the watch regardless. I mean, if you like movies or anything like that, you see it. If you like movies, or you're just a movie geek, movie nerd, like myself, you probably just watch it anyway, regardless of anything. You'll eventually watch it, right? And I still haven't brought myself to, maybe I should go Redbox it. I'm sure it's out of Redbox, the new Hellboy. But well, I guess it's not so new anymore. God, what was that? Clear back in March, April, April. I think it was in April. Yeah, I don't know. It was somewhere. It might have been March. A lot of things going on around that time. There's a lot of things going on around that time. So but yeah, certainly. I mean, that's like I said. Trailers kind of don't do like really always do it for me. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I've come to the point where I really kind of dismiss them. But I think that's something that a lot of people do is they get expectations for a movie, and then you go see the movie and you're kind of like, oh man, like this kind of wasn't what I expected in the first place. It wasn't what I expected, or it wasn't as good as you thought. And I think that's something that I think we all do that at times. And certainly people have done that for some movies a lot more than others. And I don't know. I Do you do that to yourself too? With a lot of movies. I mean, like I said, I certainly don't get any expectations off of movies or things like that. Like I get excited about movies. I still get excited about movies. Don't get me wrong. But like as far as my expectations, I don't know. All I really expect is at least a good and entertaining movie. And that doesn't mean that if like a certain movie was supposed to be a certain thing and it's not quite that, it goes somewhere else. I'm not this like I just want to be entertained, and I want it to be a good movie. And there's for me, I find different things good about a lot of different movies as well. So it's really hard to say. I mean, what does make a good movie? What makes a good movie to you? What makes like, because there's so many different types of movies out there. There's so many types of different movies out there that kind of make me have different expectations for different movies as well. So when there's some, and see, you can't even say like there's certain things that I expect out of a comedy, because like I look at a comedy, I'm like, well, what kind of comedy is it? Is it a family comedy? Is it like is it one of these movies that's like got a lot of comedy and it's got a little bit of drama in there to where it's like almost not comedy? What kind of movie is it? So that's something. I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting thing, and that's why when it comes like that's why I'm a fan of films. You know what I mean? And that's why I've made this argument with people before, man. All films are art. All films are art. And it's kind of like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. So that's ultimately what it comes down to. And like I said, me, I look into so many different things, different aspects of movies that I tend to not really hate anything. Sometimes I see a movie that sucks, I'm just kind of like, okay, well, why does this movie, and I like to explore that more when I find a movie that's like that. Like, why does this movie suck? What is it that sucks so bad about it? Because sometimes we see there are movies out there that may not have the best story in the world, but they do so many other things right on screen that it's like, okay, you know what? This kind of brings up the quality of this movie. So or sometimes I know you've seen a movie out there that has like this phenomenal cast, this great cast of people, and then you watch the movie and you're like, what happened here? The story's actually even okay, but this movie is a damn train wreck. It's so weird. It's so weird how some movies are like that. Where sometimes you get movies where it's like you have all the right things there, and the story sucks. Could be that as well. So I don't know. I don't know what you think. Snowdub Music and Entertainment. What's up, man? Jenner check. Ha ha. Woo. Snowdub has been doing a countdown of the top 20 horror films to watch leading up to Halloween. I think he's been trying to do about two a day. So you guys should, if you're not already, go check out Snowdub's channel. He's going to be releasing about 2 videos a day. So I'll expect that there's probably going to be a couple of more. There's probably going to be a couple more videos getting ready to come out here today. I know we did 2 of them yesterday. So make sure you go check out Snowdub. He's gonna let you know what horror movies you need to be watching in the lead up to Halloween. Russell Wells Benjamin says the Endgame trailers were perfect, showed the right amount to build hype without giving away the major plot points. Yeah, it was, and it was funny too. The Endgame ones were really good. I liked the way everything was done, especially that very first one. Remember that very first one that came out? It was funny because I remember some months ago I was sitting there looking back at it. I'm like, man, and that's like around the time I first started my channel. That's around the same time I started my channel. But I was sitting there thinking like, man, what a time that was. Anyway, you know what I mean? That was just such a great time. It was a great time to be alive, to be a nerd, and into all these things. Especially I just started. I was making theory videos, but what a time to be alive. Like, go back and watch. Go watch on back that official first trailer or first teaser for Avengers Endgame. Remember how it started? It opened up with that music, and then like you see Tony turning on the Iron Man helmet to record to do his little bit of vlogging, talking to Pepper Potts, and just kind of just does that whole little thing. He's drifting off in space, and that was like that was almost it. You know what I mean? Like it was so great. It was like, man, like they did so much with so little. And then we got the next handful of trailers, and it was funny too because remember everybody out there kept saying like oh, these movies are only gonna have like the first 10-15 minutes of the movie is all that's gonna be in these trailers and everything. And I'm like, I don't know. And a lot of it was, towards the end they put a little bit more stuff in them, towards, that were, later in the movies and everything. But I remember even when I went to watch, it at the theater the first time, Avengers Endgame, I remember sitting there just kind of chuckling to myself like, huh, it's funny, like a lot of them were from those first few minutes of the movie as well. Like it kind of made me chuckle about how quickly it moved along. Each little thing from the trailer. I'm like, well, most of it was from those first 15 to 20 minutes of the movie or so. So I mean, it was just kind of all really kind of struck me funny as well at the same time. That because I remember sitting there laughing like, come on, this can't all be from. And of course, it wasn't all from the first 20 minutes or so of the movie. But that was a good time. That was a good time. Anthony Diaz says, in my opinion, trailers lately aren't matching the movie. A trailer will show a certain scene I will look forward to seeing, but then I won't see it in the actual movie. Disappointing. Yeah, and I think that kind of comes with, sometimes things change along the way depending on where they are at, or like in the case of like the Avengers movies, they just don't want to give away a whole lot, you know what I mean? Because that helps build the suspense, to make you want to go see it. So if you're talking about Hulk running in Wakanda during the Battle of Wakanda, yeah, I know what you mean. But it's all good. It's all good. And plus, I don't know. Sometimes, like my wife, she claims to not like to watch trailers because it ruins the movie for her. Kind of ruin. She knows. Just kind of some of the stuff that's gonna happen. But I always kind of wonder. I'm like, I don't know. But then, how do you get psyched up to go see the movie if you don't know what it's about? You ask her like, hey, you want to go see this? No, I don't know what it's about. Well, dang it, watch the trailer. Watch the trailer, man. That's funny. But yeah, because I guess sometimes like really some trailers put too much in there, and I guess that's what it is too. Probably for her, maybe she sees some of them and they put too much in there. Russell Wells Benjamin says, true, but in Marvel's sake, this is something I'm grateful for. They have so much extra footage from filming that they can build trailers with throwaway footage that won't ruin the film when we watch it. Yeah, that's a good point. That's definitely a good point. Aggressively Relaxed says, train wreck. Are we talking about The Watchmen? I don't know the TV show. I haven't seen. I haven't seen the TV show. I know they just recently started doing a series on that. I remember watching the movie. I remember when the movie came out. I remember, even at the time, I wasn't really like into Watchmen or anything, and I watched it thinking like, it was okay. It was pretty good. It wasn't terrible. It was just something I wasn't really into. I mean, it was a different take on like a kind of like superhero world, I guess you could say. Snowdub says, "Thanks, brother. Yeah, working on two of them today. Listening while editing. Awesome, awesome. Can't wait to check them out. Yeah, I seen checked out the ones yesterday." Russell Wells Benjamin says, "Bro, I fell asleep twice trying to watch this Watchmen episode. That's funny. All grayscale trailer with red highlights going through 10 years of Marvel. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Some of those some of those things were pretty good. Max Santiago, welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. He says it was glorious. Aggressively relaxing says Star Wars trailers are all the same. Awesome. Yeah, man. Curtis YZ, what's up, man? How you doing this morning? Says headed to work, can't stay long, so smash that like button for Second Street Marvel. Yeah, man. Thanks a lot for that. Yeah, guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Share this video with a friend and all that stuff. Tell them to come here and hang out with us. Have a good time as we sit here and talk movies here in the mornings. Russell Wells Benjamin says Skyscraper with The Rock. Perfect example of a movie you can watch the trailer for and never have to see the actual film. Well, to me that sounds like Hobbs and Shaw. But I never did watch Skyscraper. I haven't seen that one or Hobbs and Shaw. Even though Hobbs and Shaw kind of got me to the point where where I actually wanted to see it. I actually wanted to see it, and I haven't watched one of those Fast and Furious movies in a long time. Curtis YZ says, "I love the movie. No need for show. That's why I won't watch it." Okay, yeah, I was saying I've seen the movie, and I don't know. I'm not sure if I don't really watch a whole lot of the TV shows. I mean, they're just hard for me to do. Like, I went ahead and got the Disney streaming thing, and I'm gonna do those ones for the MCU stuff. But overall, like that's gonna be hard enough for me to do. So I hope they do them really good. That's what I ultimately need is I need them to be done good because I don't know, just like the TV like that format doesn't work for me during those. Tara's on. Welcome to the live stream. Tara says I fell asleep during the Watchmen too. Oh man, is it that bad? Oh man. I don't know, then. I don't know. I still haven't even finished The Boys, and I watched the first episode of that, and I thought it was good, and I still haven't even finished that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm not into the whole TV show thing. Recently, my wife has been watching. She got into the Breaking Bad series, and she's like, "Oh, have you ever seen this?" I'm like, "No," and I stood there and watched about half of the first episode with her. I'm like, I've always heard it was good. I've just never taken the time to watch it. But I've always heard it was good, and I've just never watched it. Not because I don't think it's good or anything, just because I don't really watch that many of those like TV format TV shows. But what I was watching, yeah, it was great. It was good. I really did like it. Hobbs and Shaw was actually a fun film, and I need to go see that. Oh, and Russell Wells Benjamin. Speaking of which, I finally did see that video that E-Man's movie review did. Benjamin says breaks away from typical Fast and Furious, but for sure is just an action-packed joyride. This is what Martin Scorsese would be focusing on as amusement park movies. Right, right, and we're about to get into that. Max Santiago says movies and TV. Yeah, I know what you mean, and that's why I like to stick with movies more than anything, because like TV shows don't usually like for me a TV show is supposed to be a sitcom. That's if you ask me that's what it is. You want to watch a Goldbergs, Blackish, you want to watch Fresh Off the Boat, like these shows I can handle. Seinfeld. Yeah. That's what TV's made for me. Like these, and then sure, HBO has gone out there and done great things ever since like Oz, The Sopranos, Nurse Jackie, and some of those that kind of really started building this thing. Weeds, these different shows that kind of started building this kind of format, and that's all good. And those shows are really well done. You can tell they kind of put some budgets into them. Oz was probably a little more lower budget, but they still did pretty decent with that. I'm not sure if you guys ever seen Oz. So yeah, I'm just not really into that. I don't know. They're hard. I don't know. To me, like binge watching them is probably a better thing. Where and I'm kind of glad though. And I guess it's different for different things. Cause like Breaking Bad, I think like I would want to binge watch a season of that or something like that. Where like the Disney's Plus streaming service with like their MCU shows. I think they're doing one every week or something like that, which is really cool. because sometimes I think that like binge watching kind of sucks for some things as well. You want something to leave you in suspense, so you can watch the next week or anything like that. Or maybe you're one of the people who wants to wait for the trade paperback, and you're gonna wait until all of them have aired, and then you can just binge watch all of them. Oh wait, did I just trade paper? Did I just? I just went full comics on you. Um, um, but yeah, yeah. So Tara says, I just finished Breaking Bad. Awesome, awesome. Did you watch El Camino? I've heard mixed reviews about that one as well. Russell Wells Benjamin says Boys was dope. Yeah, definitely. Tom Holland was a great sport for that. Yeah, yeah, that was definitely cool. You know what I mean when they go ahead and play along with some of those things. Aggressively relaxing says I'm still drawing Alan Moore sitting on his couch in front of a TV running the Watchmen credits saying, that was that was not so bad. Looking forward to what they do with it. That's funny. Um so yeah, okay, let's get into like this main thing I wanted to talk about today, and that was I've got to be honest with you, like their amusement parks, right? The whole amusement park thing. Yeah, sure. What's wrong with going to the theaters and having fun with a movie? You know what I mean? That's a good point. They got a good point there. What's wrong with that? I'm not sure what's so wrong with that. But the thing is, I go to a lot of movies and I have a good time. Like some of these guys' movies I've seen at the theaters, I've went there and had a good time. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, I guess, and there, like Martin Scorsese's comments about it being cinema. I mean, like I get what he's getting at here with what he's saying, but I mean, does that really matter? You know what I mean? Does it matter what's real cinema? I mean, I know what he's talking about, but I mean, does any of that stuff really matter? I mean, like you like what you like. I mean, like me, I like all these movies. I like the work that Scorsese and Coppola has done. I like these MCU movies. I don't, and most of them are all great films. You know what I mean? Some better than others. That's really about how it is. I mean, you could take a look at Martin Scorsese's work, and he's not knocked them all out of the park. Francis Ford Coppola, hasn't either. I mean, I'm sure they've all got great movies, but and they're great film directors. But, like, I don't understand what's going on here with all this stuff. Why do they care so much? I know, like, John Campia and even Josh over at the Den of Nerds were saying that, like, we're kind of agreeing, in, I guess, agreement upon the fact that, for the first time in these guys' careers, they're, like, actually being told no by these major studios when it comes to, putting out films. Well, that was the Scorsese one, for Scorsese, being told no, like, when it comes to The Irishman. And well, I get it. I don't know I don't think that I don't agree with that because the studios. I think most of the studios didn't want to do it for one because it was an expensive film to do, and two, it was like 3.5 hours long. You know what I mean? So that's a long film to put in the movie theater and get the kind of thing to draw in the crowds to get the kind of money that you want and need to ultimately get out of a movie like that. So I don't know that there was anybody who wanted to put. I mean, that wanted to put up that kind of money for having that kind of a film developed. So I mean, with a movie like that, like The Irishman, that's that long and all those kinds of things, like most studios these days aren't wanting to do that because it takes a lot of money to go out there and promote a film like that to get it into all these theaters, make it a national release and things like that. So it becomes a harder thing for any studio to want to do. It's not like they were saying no to like a regular 2.5 hour movie that you would normally get out of one of these directors, or even just under the 3 hour mark. I mean that's a little bit different, and also like the kind of budgets that they were looking for this movie, from what it sounds like with the de-aging technology and that kinds of stuff, they a whole lot of studios are gonna pass on that in the first place, and it doesn't matter what film it is. Had the Russo brothers come up with a 3.5 hour movie with Avengers Endgame, I can guarantee you, even Disney would have been sitting there like, guys, like 3.5 hours long. Come on, we're putting a big budget into this. We've got all this marketing and everything. Like, can't we draw that back a little bit? So I don't know that it's necessarily about that, but the one thing that God, they were even talking about on the Campus show yesterday was about these guys like being gatekeepers about the whole thing, and it's like, you know what, that's actually a pretty good point. I was like, I feel in a sense that they are, and like, now how does that make me feel though? You know what I mean? Because like I said, these guys are great filmmakers. Just because the just because these superhero movies are drawing in big crowds doesn't mean that they don't have a place or that people shouldn't enjoy them. So like I get where they're coming from. Like these films are different types of films, but at the same time, another point that Campier brought up too is these a lot of these superhero movies and things like that, these comic book movies are what are bringing people into the theaters to in crowds, making these theaters money as well. So I mean, there's a little bit of give and take in the industry. It's just this, just kind of like the same thing I was talking before about Chris Evans wanting to go off. Everybody's like, oh, he's completely done with Marvel, he's not coming back, he said all this and that, he wants to go and be a director and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's not he wants to go be a director. He already is. He's already done a movie. He's already done that. What it comes down to is Chris Evans has made a lot of money in the Marvel Cinematic Universe making these movies. He draws a lot of money at this point when he's going to be in a film, right? Okay, so if he wants to go off and be a director or be in some of these smaller independent films, more things like that, if he wants to get into that, to grow and become a director and a bigger like director and producer and anything like that, he's gonna be making films where he don't make much money on, and missing that Marvel money is going to be a lot. That's a lot. You know what I mean? Especially by the time maybe your pocketbook starts becoming a little bit drained because maybe you're putting up some of your own money to maybe be a producer on your own film and get certain things done in your film while you're trying to do some of these smaller, more independent movies. So he's going to be back. You know what I mean? But they also like, so one of the things that I think these guys are missing is the fact that there are people out there that are in these movies. I mean, there's legitimate actors in these films, and a lot of these people that are in these films are getting a lot of great experience. Not only in front of the camera, but we're learning things behind the camera when it comes to filmmaking. Like, these guys were once that guy too. They were once the new guy on the block as well. You know what I mean? And not everybody wanted to see all their movies. Oh man, what's going on here, man? Did this thing seriously just drop out on me? Is OBS messing with me, guys? I just all of a sudden seen it go yellow and everything, man. Is it that bad? Let me know down in the comments below, guys, if anything's funny's going on there. But yeah, so I mean, these guys are learning about filmmaking and everything at the same time just by being on set. I'm sure when they're actually on set and they're not there on like actually in front of the camera, some of them are probably spending time behind the camera, but some of them have gone through school and things like that as well to try to get into these positions and be able to do this. And so I mean, there's a lot of things going on here, and that's certainly like, these guys didn't just these guys came from somewhere as well. They were once the small directors that people were questioning their films and the quality of their films and things like that as well. So and also these guys probably forget to think about the fact that not everybody likes their films as well. you know there are people out there that do love films and love movies and things like that as well that don't like their films. And that's not to say that if there's somebody out there that don't like their films, I'm not trying to discredit them and say that they have no clue what they're talking about. But Francis Ford Coppola and Martin Scorsese are great directors. So anybody, even people that don't like their films, even if they tell you that these guys aren't great directors, I can tell you, discount that, because they're just wrong. Just because they don't like their films doesn't mean they're not great directors at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's all of that same kind of stuff. But like, are these guys wrong in what they're saying? Like, are these films are these basically not art? Are they not cinema? Are these movies despicable and they're invading theaters? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm gonna go ahead and get in to some more of the chats here, as I can see everybody is here doing some chatting here. Anthony says, have a great rest of your day, bro. Thanks for the shout out and plug. Heading out to catch everyone on the next one. All right, man. Have a good one, Anthony. Carrie Neves, thank you so much for being here. Good morning to you. Curtis YZ says, I liked El Camino. Pretty funny and gritty. And well done, I thought. Okay, I got to go keep up the great work. Well, thank you very much, Curtis, and you have a good rest of your day. Hope to see you soon. Russell Wells Benjamin says, right now I'm watching Wu Tang, an American saga on Hulu. It's releasing on a week-to-week basis, and I'm glad for it. It's making the series last longer. Right. I mean, it's got that, it's got that lingering effect. If it's 8 episodes or something, it's going to keep you going for a good 2 months. Or if imagine if they just did one episode every other week instead of every week. You know what I mean? I think on some of them they should, like maybe the Marvel ones, they should do something like that. You know what I mean? But of course, I haven't really looked into how many episodes they're doing for each one or anything like that. So that could drag out pretty long if they did that. But maybe do like 3 episodes, then skip a week, and then do 3 more, something like that. Aggressively relaxing says, I don't need to watch Wu Tang because I lived that Shaolin life. That's great. Max Santiago, everything makes a comeback. The kind of movies he likes will be in vogue. There you go. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. He might legitimately be done. Um, just because where he's at in his career and what he does, his aspirations as well. You know what I mean? Like, I think Robert Downey Jr. is probably well off where he's at, and he'll probably be fine with that. But I think a person like Chris Evans, who is still young and wants to build more of a career and do more things, he's going to want the money to do some of that stuff. That stuff doesn't come cheap, it doesn't come easy, and it doesn't come for free. You know what I mean? And of course, you can get, big deals with the studios and things out there like that and get them, all that money. Yeah, sure. But, at some point, just, when you're first starting out, some of it comes down to that, it still hits you in the pocketbook. You know what I mean? Um, Aggressively relaxing says, showing horrible things is art. Showing Captain America kicking the shit out of horrible things is trash. That's funny. Russell Wells Benjamin says, you're here. Who? I'm here? Oh, okay, yeah, it was freezing up. Snowdub says buffering a bit, but you cut out a couple times, not too bad. Yeah, I don't know, probably OBS or YouTube, or it could just be my internet connection, man. I don't know. I don't know. There we go. Is it working again? I think it might be working again. Let's see. Let's go back here and see what it's saying. Okay. I don't know. It looks like it should be up. Is it up? Is it working? It looks like it's working. Alright. Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. I'm not sure what's going on. OBS acting up or whatnot. Man, I was on a good one too, man. I was on a roll. I was on a roll there about this Francis Ford Coppola and stuff, man. Man. But Max Santiago, if you're still here, you certainly are correct. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, I get what Martin Scorsese was saying about it being art, or it being cinema and stuff like that. I mean, what he's saying, I don't know. I guess ultimately he's just grumpy. Ultimately he's grumpy, but I mean he's getting at the point of something like people have argued with me as well is like it's not art. This isn't art, and and stuff like that. And it's like, yes, it is. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it's not art. Doesn't mean that it's not a great film. Doesn't it doesn't mean any of those kinds of things. So it's just these guys, I mean, I kind of feel like they are being gatekeepers here of this whole thing, and at the same time we can see that they're upsetting people along the way, because we see like James Gunn, and believe me, I'm not like a huge fan of James Gunn or anything, but has kind of been out there and been a little upset, talking about this whole thing as well, about basically these guys that he loves and respects their movies are basically crapping on his movies. You know what I mean? And he's been a big boy about it. He's been a big boy about it. and that's the thing is like, just because you don't like somebody else's work doesn't mean you have to criticize it. I mean, you think George Strait is out there saying, you know what, Slayer sucks, you know what, and they need to get these guys off of stages. They need to not let these guys perform at these big venues. They need to be playing in bars, and stuff like that. That's just, yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, yeah. Let's see, where are we at here? Russell Wells Benjamin says the Shaolin and Wu Tang could be dangerous. Do you think your Shaolin style can defeat my Wu Tang sword style? Insert kung fu flex. Okay, stuck buffering, talking about it made it worse. I know, right? Like that's the thing. But apparently, I don't know. It's all back and good to go. Aggressively relaxing says nothing is a match for my Tiger style. Tiger style, bring the motherfucking ruckus. 36,000 days. Maybe restart the stream, Trent. Yeah, it's all good now. So hopefully you're back. Hopefully you're back. Coffee Breath says, "What's up, man? How you doing?" Yes, it's working. I blame Bill Gates, not you. Yes. Isn't Bill Gates... Didn't he die? I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. Dylan's comic book rant says, "Hey, what's up, Trinity? Caught you on the early live stream. Yeah, thank you so much." He says, "Thank you for the sound effects." Yes, you're very welcome. So, but yeah, ultimately these guys, man, like I don't know, like how do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about that? But, maybe I need to see if I can get Stevie J's reviews to come on one of these days, and maybe we'll talk about this a little bit more. Because like I said, like it's just like these guys. Okay, Bill Gates is alive. It's the other one that died, right? Steve Jobs, right? I don't know, man. It's so hard to. I'm not a technology guy, even though I always I mess around with a lot of technology. So yeah. Anyway, um, but yeah, how do you guys feel about this whole thing with Scorsese and all them guys? Because like I said, I mean, I know what I know what Scorsese was getting at. I mean, I know what he's getting at, but at the same time, like it's like, come on, dude, like. You don't have to come after other people and say their films suck just because you don't like them. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like it, just say you don't like it. That's all fine and dandy. I don't think anybody's gonna be mad about that, right? Would you be mad? I mean, certainly some people are. I know some of these MCU stands seem to get pretty upset when somebody don't like an MCU movie or anything like that. And man, there's some weirdos out there, man. There's some wackos, certainly, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, let me know how you guys feel about that down in the comments below. I'm not really for sure how much that I have to say about this thing because I mean, like I said, I get where these guys are coming from, and I mean, these guys are great filmmakers who have done a bunch of great things, and like I said, I certainly respect anybody being able to have their own opinion out there, and it just seems like they're coming out and making an assault on these movies, and even the theaters too that are showing these movies. Is like guys, what's the problem here? Where's the disconnect? You know what I mean? Like some people feel the same about their movies. They don't like them. I'm sure there's other filmmakers at the time when these guys were coming out with their movies that they probably felt the same way. We're like, dude, what's with these guys? With these movies, what's going on here? Like what's this Godfather stuff? And legitimately is like I don't know. There's just so much. I don't know. I guess, but also, at the same time, the media is obviously perpetuating this into a problem as well. The media is back at it once again. Of course, for the most part, people are just reporting on what these people are saying as they're saying these things at these conferences or in these interviews and stuff like that. And of course, then everybody takes and goes out there and completely breaks it all down and blows it out of proportion and things like that. I don't know. I mean, but does it really matter? You know what I mean? Does any of that stuff really matter? I mean, are they right? Are they right though that these things are just amusement park rides? Are these movies despicable? Are they invading these theaters and is it a bad thing? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I like I said, there's nothing wrong with going to the theater and having fun watching a movie, enjoying watching a movie. I mean, one of the things I also said is, like, what does anybody get out of these movies? What do they take out of them? Well, there's a lot to take out of them. There's a lot of inspiration to take out of them. There's actually, some good messages in them. There's some, bad messages in them as well. So yeah, I don't know. I take a lot out of a lot of these films when I see them, and they are great pieces of work as well. Like you can see, like they're doing different things with some of the different movies throughout these films. There's different genre type films. There's different just methods of directing, methods of the acting. I mean, just there's just a lot of different things going on in each of these different movies that any I think any great filmmaker would enjoy and respect if they actually just sat down and watched the movie. You know what I mean? Like, go watch like Ant-Man. Ant-Man is, those are some of my favorite movies in the MCU. And why? Because I mean, they're just kind of adventurous. Paul Walker, or not Paul Walker, Paul Rudd, playing Scott Lang. Just it just works out. I mean, he's just so great in that role. You know what I mean? Like he's a great comedic actor. He can be funny. He can be entertaining. He's just like that average everyday guy. And then he flipped the switch on you, and all of a sudden, it's dramatic just because he's strong in his performance, and then some of the other people that are around him. So I watch, and it's funny, I mean, Michael Douglas is in those movies as well, but like those movies, like the Ant-Man movies, remind me of Romancing the Stone. Have you ever seen Romancing the Stone? I mean, think Romancing the Stone. Wow, that's anyway. It reminds me of a movie like that, and how fun and entertaining that movie was, and how comedic it was, and how, and at the same time, it was like kind of somewhat like serious as well. You know what I mean? It's just one of those kind of movies, just a fun action adventure type of movie. And what's wrong with that? These same types of movies have existed forever. It's just now they're using comic book properties to do different things. They're making these comic book movies in these comic books into movies, and they're taking and applying films to them. You know what I mean? It's not. I, I don't know. Like I said, I enjoy these movies and I get a lot out of these films. The same way I get a lot out of watching, some of these guys' films as well. So I think the one thing that these guys are doing wrong is just the way they're saying it and the way they're going about it, kind of going out on this assault and this attack on these filmmakers and these studios who are making these films. I mean, come on, guys, like get a grip. You know what I mean? But certainly, I'm not going to be mad at these guys or go out there and attack them and say their movies suck or anything like that just because they don't like these films. I just think they're kind of being a little bit ridiculous in the way they're going about all of it. Coffee Breath says, I think it's weird you mentioned Marvel and not DC. Yeah, definitely. Especially when you consider, go watch Aquaman, okay? The movie's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but it's fun. You know what I mean? From the very get go of that movie, like it had me kind of laughing with like some of the little stuff. Like Aquaman arrives there on the submarine, flips his hair back after doing his superhero landing, and says, "Permission to come aboard." Like, come on, man! Like, and then he grabs that steel door off that was there, whatever, and he grabs that steel door and he holds it up like a shield, just like Captain America, and he chucks it just like I was sitting there laughing so much, like it's like they're almost like doing this whole Captain America thing, just like being funny about it, and with this over the top, crazy, ridiculous action, and it was great. It was fun. It was entertaining. And then just like I don't know, there's just like a whole bunch of the things, like even Black Manta, he seemed like he was like the evil Tony Stark. You know what I mean? They did that whole little sequence in there, and I was like, man, they're really just taking hooks from Marvel and putting that into their movie, and just like kind of a silly and funny way. But I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, the DC movies too. I mean. Yeah, don't even get me started on old school Batman. Like the Tim Burton ones and the ones that came after that. Those ones, and then like the George Clooney and the Val Kilmer. Like come on, we want to talk about silly. He didn't say comic movies. He said Marvel movies. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Point taken. Yeah, definitely. He said I also heard he helped pitch the Joker to Warner Brothers. Yeah, he did. He did. He says Russell Wells Benjamin says that's exactly why he didn't mention DC, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure, that's why he didn't mention it. He's trying to rip down the competition with his comments. He doesn't know Marvel's is Hydra. Cut off one head. All right. Yeah, that's true. And like I said, I mean, I understand what he's saying, but like, come on, like these guys, like, come on, you're a little off base here. Like, why do you care so much if you don't like these movies? It's the same thing. You guys have probably heard me say a lot here on this channel. If you don't like something, acknowledge, just say, put your comments out there, and move on. Beyond that, nobody cares. You don't care about them. Why you keep watching them? You know what I mean? Why you keep watching them? Just like certain channels out there, you don't like them. Just like me. There's some people out there that bitch about certain people, certain channels, their opinions or anything like that. Yet they're watching every single one of their damn videos. Just move on. Just tune it out. You know what I mean? I've done the same thing with like channels I don't really like their content. I don't really watch. You know what I do? I don't focus on them. I don't go to their videos and watch every single one of their videos waiting to, come after them and be like, "Oh, you know what this creator said? Oh man, this is why they suck." No, it doesn't matter to me. I just don't pay it any attention. It's just okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Like do do the same thing, guys. Do the same thing. Come on, Martin. Come on, Francis. You could do the same thing. You've already said what you needed to say. There's no need to say anymore. You don't have to keep going back after it. You don't have to go over it over and over and over. Because we don't care. You don't like the movies, great, fine. But then, I mean, like at the point where you're sitting there, like kind of, you know, at this point they are being disrespectful to the directors of these films and stuff like that. And hey, if they just want to be assholes, let them be assholes. Fine, okay, cool. But I mean, they should know as well that some people that's going to make some people not want to go see their films just based on that. I mean, so to some of these MCU stands and stuff out there that are completely pissed off at these filmmakers at this point, you're like Brie Larson to them. Like Brie Larson to the people who were mad about her comments that she made when she was at at a women in film festival and receiving an award and went up and gave a speech, and a lot of people they didn't even really take much out of context. They just took like the snippet of it and without anything else. I mean, it's the same thing. Like you're Brie Larsoning yourself out there, guys. Come on. What are you doing? You're highly respected directors. These filmmakers that you're talking trash about, they love you. They love you. You know what I mean? Most people who like movies, who like films, love you. You know what I mean? Like you're highly revered. Like you don't have to do this. Just say you don't like it and move on. But now you're you're Brie Larsoning yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to put that out there. Just the Brie Larsoning themselves, because there's a lot of people out there that feel like that are upset at Brie Larson and her comments she made in a Women in Films award ceremony thing. And, hey, I get it. I get it. You feel how you want to about it. I'm just saying. Man, I'm making myself laugh here. Um, Whew. Coffee Breath says it was like he was promoting Joker without mentioning it by name. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, I get that. Tommy, what's up? How you doing this morning? Rosetta Allen, thank you so much for being here. Says Second Street, you are amazing. You stream like a beast. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I do my best. I just do my best. That's all I can do. Russell Wells Benjamin says Aquaman killed my soul. I wanted to see DC do well, but but for fuck's sake, let these films burn. Let these films burn and focus on black label DC films like The Joker, maybe rated R Damian Wayne film. Well, for me, I think really the only ones they need to do in the rated R genre anyway would be ones on the villains. So you're rating it R. You're making it pretty hardcore. You're also making it to where parents don't want to take their kids to see it, where they're seeing like a guy go crazy or go off the deep end, and basically, as a lot of people say, glorifying a bad guy. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think they should definitely stick that to those. They can make the rest of these movies PG-13, and they can make a Batman go pretty hardcore after the Joker and still make it PG-13. I think they can. And the thing is by keeping that character study of a Joker, of a Riddler, of these characters in a separate rated R universe. Well, not even separate universe, but just in a rated R stance. You know what I mean? So then throughout the movie, the kids can still get a feel in a PG-13 movie, Superman or Batman movie, that this bad guy is a bad guy by maybe referencing some of the bad things that he done in their solo movie in their PG-13 movie, and they can still maintain that. So I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of how I feel about it. Rosetta Allen said, there's a lot of crap I don't like. I mock it, then move on. That's the healthy way to handle it. Right. Then there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. You don't like it, say you don't like it, or yeah, make a mockery of it, and then just move on. Just move on. And I can tell you, yeah, I don't even need to bring specifics into it, but yeah, it's true. Just, say your piece, move on. It's simple. Coffee Breath says, when was the last time either of them have trended on the internet, though? Good for their careers. Brie Larsoning, right? Brie Larson. They went full Larson. Yeah, and that's true. When was the last time either? I mean, Martin Scorsese recently made news just about the whole Irishman thing, and it's getting ready to come out, and it's 3.5 hours long, and no studio greenlit this thing. I mean that kinda went out there. Alan says, Brie is a bimbo and a sexist. Focusing on her would be painful to my spirit, and I'd rather tell bad jokes and jiggle my chest, right? I mean, there you go. And there you go. Say you don't like it, say your piece, and move on. Russell Wells Benjamin says, Damian Wayne is an absolute savage, not child friendly. Well, they could. I mean, I'm not saying they can't. Raised by the League of Assassins, basically a serial killing Robin. Yeah, and like I say, I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying, like, for more of the stuff. I mean, if they want to do, like, they need to do both. That's the ultimate thing, is they need to do both. They need to have PG-13 movies and rated R movies. And honestly, Marvel Studios would benefit by doing the same thing, by having some rated R movies mixed in with all their PG-13 stuff. They just would. Punisher, Black Widow. Let's bring some reality to these characters. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's just it right there. But yeah. Anyway, that's all I have for today, folks. That's all I'm gonna have. I've got some videos that I've got shot. I've got to get them all edited and get them all out there. I will be getting some comic book reviews shot today as well, getting them all ready for tomorrow's new comic book day. In case you have a local comic book shop near you, in case you don't know, every single Wednesday is New Comic Wednesday at your local comic book shop. If you have one near you, you should get out there and support them. I can guarantee you they have more than just comic books. They probably have posters, action figures, trading cards, all kinds of good stuff for you to geek and nerd out on. I know mine certainly does anyway. So you should make sure you get out there and support them. If not, if you don't want to, if you're not sure what to buy, you can always come here to the channel and check out some of my comic book reviews. And if there's anything you don't know about that you want me to review and let you know about, let me know. You can always send me an email. You can reach out to me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any of those social media things, and let me know if there's something specifically you want to do. I know somebody the other day, I can't remember who it was. Was it Dylan's Comic Book Rants that was asking about Napoleon Dynamite? Wanting me to do a review on that because they weren't sure about it, because they hadn't seen anybody really do any reviews on it. So I'm going to have that one ready to go here pretty soon. But that's all I have for today's video. Thank you all so much for showing up to the morning movie chat. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed and click that little bell so you get notifications anytime I've uploaded new content. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you don't, feel free to give it a thumbs down. It's all good. But while you're at it, make sure that you share it with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the 2nd Street Marvel. You all have a very good day. Have a great rest of your week. Happy comic book reading, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.